Hey, how's it going? So today I am going to just kind of talk. What I started to do was make a video and include a product placement, an ad. And the product is a shirt from a company called Wipe Homophobia. And it's run by a British gent that I met online. And actually, I think I started following his little Frenchie dog first, but he's shit all tangled. Excuse my language. Um, but he's a pretty funny guy. He has lots of posts on Twitter that, oh man, I'm just mangled, that are quite amusing. So I got one of his shirts because I know many homosexuals. I'm related to many. It seems like every year or two I find out there are more that just, well, I don't see my family very often. Maybe if I were around, I might have more insight as to, you know, who's a homosexual in my family. But at any rate, I support them because, in my opinion, a homosexual person, even though they will have like all of these other things that other people can find to have against them, uh, prejudice or whatever, but I think that gay people, particularly if they're not black, understand that experience better than most if they were not a gay person that is not black. Because to me, the abuse they suffer is the same, like, flavor or odor, more appropriately. And I don't know, it just looks to me like the same stuff happens to them. Like they just get run up on and attacked and or killed for no apparent reason, and certainly no given reason, no good reason to the person, under the attack. And discriminated against because they see something about you that in their mind identifies you as something to hate, you know? But anyway, the product, sorry, hi, up close and personal, is this t shirt. I got a t shirt and it's an ally shirt. Um, and when I first got it, it was Gay Pride Month. And also, it was the first heat wave. Like today or yesterday, day before, it's what? Oh, shoot, what is it? It's Thursday. Well, this week has been rolling up to another heat wave, so it was too hot to wear the shirt. And when I got it, it was like a flannel. And I was like, holy crap, this thing is so thick, I'm not going to be able to wear it till winter. But then I gave it to my caregiver to wash and, put it in the laundry. And so when it came back, um, it was like a normal shirt. But then, it actually cooled off a little. And I couldn't wear the shirt then either because here's the thing, like I'm from Hollywood, LA, whatever, and I moved from there for a lot of reasons, but a big one was I don't do well in the heat. Like I don't like it. It's I don't like it. And I moved to where I am now, which is in the Pacific Northwest, because it was lush and rainy and fresh smelling and beautiful, and there were animals and seasons. Like LA, you get like, hot, really freaking hot, hot to death now, probably. And then on the lower end, like mildly warm, like, or, once in a great while, there's something really cold that happens that warrants an actual coat. But anyway, one of the things that I really disliked was Air conditioning for some reason is not everywhere in people's homes, and I don't know why that is, because like in Houston, where I spent a little over a year, even the projects have air conditioners because like they don't want to have to deal with a mass scale death situation. Like they understand like if they don't have a cool place to be and be in relief other than like work or a movie theater or supermarket or library or whatever the place is that is not your home, then they're going to go to their home and it's going to be a hot freaking box. And oh my god, there's this thing, I think it's called like a heat bulb, and it's like the humid heat and your body that needs to sweat. It's like fat people like myself will know this, but especially when I lived in LA and Houston, when you get out of the shower, if it's hot outside of the shower, you never like you're already sweating again, like as you're drying off, before you're drying off. I mean, it's that kind of situation. Like it's inescapable damp heat, and I think it's like a hot drowning situation. And so they have air conditioners because they don't want mass death. In LA, I don't know. I guess I haven't lived there for, gosh, almost 30 years now, but it seems like the attitudes are the same or worse as far as, you know, caring about the population that supports all the money making industries there, but they want to keep them at arm's length. They don't want to see or hear these people if they're not the right kind. If it's a service situation, yeah, that's cool. But, if the economy or maybe a medical thing happens in your life, and because our healthcare is so messed up, it just decimates everything. You're out on the street and they're like mad at these people. Like, how dare you be in front of Oprah's apartment building on the sidewalk? And it's like, when you lose your home and you lose everything, what, you got money to take a plane to somewhere else nicer because it's out of this other person's way? Do you not understand that when you lose everything, you're kind of stuck where you are? And I know I'm I'm digressing like crazy. Point is, in LA, there's not much air conditioning because the level of concern about people's not just comfort but actual health in these heat situations, when I was there at least, was very low. Like I didn't live in a project in LA, but I lived in all kinds of apartments, and you know the like lower income, not lower income like I live now, not federal housing, but just like cheaper places that were like all inexpensive places everywhere, raunchy, not well kept up, not good area with people hanging around. Even the people in your building were like questionable, that kind of thing. Um, yeah, they don't. I don't know. It wasn't happening, but when I got here, that was the other thing. So the reason why it would be good for the people in LA to have access to air conditioning is because, especially at night, where here, when I got here, it cooled off at night. Like once the sun went, like in the desert, sun goes down, it's a whole different world. Like 2,000 degrees in the daytime, sun drops below the horizon. You need a coat and a fire and a scarf, and you know, it's cold. Total, like, I don't know, it's 360, but I was trying to think of some psychological term for, like, I don't know, maybe a comic book psychological term. Two Face. Anyway, it's, oh, sorry, I forgot to mention, this is opinion commentary for your entertainment, and watch out if you have motion sickness because this is on a shaky surface, this filming deal. Anyway, the heat doesn't leave now at night here out of the apartment when the sun goes down. Like, my cat woke me up at about 4 this morning, and yeah, still hot. Like, cross breeze windows. I guess there was no breeze really. And then, anyway, it was too hot. So I have not been able to wear the shirt. That is what all that rambling was supposed to be leading up to. Sorry, I know I'm all weight focused. Is it my bad eyesight? I don't know. Something's happening. I'll stop that wavy shit stuff. Anyway, it was too hot to wear the lovely shirt from Kevin at White Homophobia. But here is the shirt that I got. And I think it's really cool. It's oh shoot, it had a tag and I took it out. It is not, I don't think, 100% cotton, but it did have a large cotton content, which I appreciate. Everything's like polyester now, which it's better than it was in the 80s when the last time I wore it at like a job I had that I had to wear a hideous uniform in a really hot in a restaurant. It was on fire in the house in the room. It was bad. It's hot in LA. Did I mention that? It's really hot there. Anyway, it was awful. It was like abrasive almost. It was like an early version of those blue sponges with like the weird fiberglassy scrubby side. It was awful. So that's what's in mostly everything anymore. And like bamboo is cool, but that bamboo is too rich for my blood. Anyway, this wasn't. It has a majority or all cotton. I seem to remember that it had like a bit of something else. I could be totally wrong, but if you want to know for certain, go to at White Homophobia on Twitter, or Kevin and Trevor, the man and the dog. Trevor has his own account on Facebook and Instagram, as well as the Twitter. Um, or if my if my selling is not that great, you could always go to a search bar and enter white homophobia. But I'm very happy to have found the shirt. I'm very happy to wear it. Um, I think that right now, a lot of people are potentially under like physical attack by other people. Like, you don't think all this Karen stuff and whatever the man Karens are, like, you don't think that stuff's not going to escalate into something else? I was watching a wonderful psychic astrologer that I found on YouTube named Denise Siegel earlier, actually, before I started doing this, and she was talking about um, like the kind of people that were gung ho for storming the Capitol on January 6th, and just how like hate that they have for minorities, and I don't know, like they, I don't, what do they not hate? I don't even know that. Like, anyway, her thing was is that all the hate is rooted in fear, which I get and I totally agree with. And I would expand on that by saying, yes, it's fear, um, but the fear is just the manifestation of what's really going on with them that they are not dealing with. They're not facing. Like, I'm not a shrink. I'm a lay person, but this has just been what I think I've been seeing like over my life. Like, I didn't get it right at first, like I got older, like to where I am in my mid 50s, and certain things make sense now. Like, got a little more going on upstairs so I can like parse out the stuff and make sense of it. But I think fear is the manifestation of not dealing with something that is underlying in ourselves that we can't deal with, we don't like, we're embarrassed of, we're, whatever the thing is that's preventing us from like facing it and just like going through it and moving on and not like projecting your crap on other people. Like she was saying, and I thought this for a long time, like when I immersed fit spoonerism, when I first met the few people that I knew, like the very first group were actually spent quite a bit, like months, several months, or a few months, whatever it was. It seemed like a really long time. Not that it was a bad long time, but like really for the most part, it was an enjoyable thing. They kind of like were finding me on Twitter, and it wasn't like the Q people immediately, but they found me along the way. And because I was curious about, well, what is this conspiracy theory all about anyway, that everybody was freaking out about? And I just wanted to talk to him and know what the heck was going on. So let me just say that I went in knowing that Trump is not a good guy, in my opinion, and I'll just leave it at that. And I made it known that those were my feelings. Like, I wasn't shy about it. I didn't make a big deal about it, but they didn't talk about him all the time. And it wasn't the people that you're seeing now. Like, I don't know what those people are talking about anymore or where they've gone. I have some ideas. I'm not going to look for them or anything. They got their deal, I got mine. But when I spent time with them, they were just regular people. They do regular things, they have jobs. As far as I knew, they weren't in militias. They weren't even talking about stuff like that. Like, I don't think they're just like this monolith any more than any other group of people are. But anyway, they were not the boogeyman that people made up, and they had some ideas that were like believable that I could like reason with and say, okay, that could be, and other stuff that I couldn't, and then other stuff too that I think I believed in anyway, but I just got more like information, and it's like psychic stuff and spiritual stuff, and it was really helpful. In fact, that was something that I really learned from them that was like a good thing. Like, I was already on the way to like cracking open any kind of abilities that I might have, and I knew that I had some stuff going on, but I got the idea for some reason that like things would happen like they do on TV, even though I know that like TV doesn't show you real stuff, and it's not like you can CGI it. It's not like Samantha the Teenage Witch or whatever. I don't know, whatever. I don't know. It's not like TV. It's not like Charmed. Okay, um, it's unique to every person, but they really were there at a time talking about the things and helping me advance, like move forward with it. And I mean, I love those guys for that. And I didn't, we ended up parting ways, and it wasn't over politics, which is what I like. I never thought I'd be hanging out with them forever. I thought for sure they'd turn on me and be like, oh, whatever, because I'm not a conservative or a Republican or a Trump lover. So it was just kind of like, I don't know. There was a sort of sense of like being a rabbit among wolves, just waiting for something to happen. But I thought it would be political, and it wasn't that. It was personal stuff. And so, whatever. But the whole tone of them has changed. And shoot, just a second. Hi. Yeah, I can't turn off the ringer on my landline, so it's nothing. Anyway, back to what I was saying that Denise Siegel kind of was corroborating with me was that everything that they're out there crusading for is like their own, a reflection of their own dark stuff on the inside. I'm not going to explain what she was trying to talk about, but psychic astrologer Denise Siegel, she's on YouTube. You can find her under Denise Siegel, and she talks about a little more clearly than I'm doing kind of the same thing about the fear and the projection. Like, well, there's so many contradictions in the Trump love. It's weird. Um, I get all I get about it is that they're really into it and they really believe it. And I think that it's feeding bad impulses, and I don't know. It's just such a weird thing. We'll be fine. We'll get through it. Anyway, um, that's basically all I wanted to say for now. Oh, I'm so silly. I did want to say a few words. This is like, hmm, I don't know. I think I'm going to give it its own real video. Okay, thanks for listening, and good night.